Good Thanos Thursday, everybody. Daywalker Cards here, and today I am joined by Bao Bao. How are you today?
Yeah, very good today.
That's good. So it is another international player coming out of, well, technically he lives in America, but coming out of China right now. Um, so let's jump into the interview. For everybody, they want to know, why did you start to play Marvel Snap? Were you a fan of card games? Were you a fan of Marvel? What's the purpose behind you playing Marvel Snap?
Well, so I joined Marvel Snap because I'm just a fan for Ben Broad. Meanwhile, that I'm used to be a Hearthstone player, and maybe 1 year before the Hearthstone separated the server between the China and the world, and the China server is no longer making maintenance and eligible. So that's the reason I just want to find another game for me to play when I may be doing some physical exercising. And that's the reason I find this game because I'm a fan of Ben Bro. He made Hearthstone, so I trust him, so I joined Marvel Snap.
Gotcha. So you joined because of the creator, all right. And did you start Marvel Snap during the beta? So how long have you played Marvel Snap?
But I don't know when the time the beta starts, but I'm sure that I joined the game comparatively a little bit late. So I entered the game first time on February 2023. So I'm pretty sure it's Modoc season.
Yeah, that was like 4 or 5 months after the game came out because the game came out in like September. So yeah, it was a couple months since the game had come out then. And yeah, the beta was like 6 months before that in the Philippines, and people were using VPNs to join the beta. So what is your current rank in Marvel Snap? So have you reached Infinity? I know before you were telling me to do it for you so you wouldn't have to play and you could play Hades instead. So have you reached Infinity now?
Yeah, I reached Infinity this month by myself, and
Okay.
I used to reach Infinity for several months by other players. You know that my account is popular, so
Yeah.
lots of streamers would like to share my account for playing new cards. And yeah, at that time, I'm having my semester work, so that I didn't play very rapidly. In other words, they help me to reach Infinity rank every month and help me to get the card back. Yeah, it's a fair trade.
All right. So speaking of that, so why is your account so popular? So what is your current collection level? Let's go ahead and just throw that number out there so everybody can know why we're here today. What is your collection level?
35K right now, maybe 35K 200 so far.
Okay.
Because I borrow my account to another streamer today, and maybe he makes some upgrade today. So
Okay.
it's
So
around 35K and 200.
so sitting at 35,000 plus on the collection level. I don't know if it's the highest in the world. Maybe not. Some of the other streamers are maybe dropping crazy money, but it has to be up there as one of the top like accounts. Like that is an insanely high number. So speaking of ranking though, so what was your highest rank ever? So you said you've allowed others to use your account, and because you have all of the cards, to help your friends who want to stream the game. So what level did they reach in the infinite ranks?
I think the highest ranking they helped me to reach is about 500, so it's not pretty high. But I think that the highest ranking I reached, and also maybe the highest possible ranking, is World Top 2 before the ranking system come up. So at that time, there is no ranking. There is just maybe a very high level with number. So once
Yeah,
you gain 10 cubes, you will reach a higher level. So at that time, I reached about 210 in a single month. Play
that's
with my roommate. So
that's
we
quite
have two
far.
people and we just play one by one by one. I play Galactus and he plays Thanos.
All right, and
So we two together reach about 210. So it's maybe the second highest in United States according to the leaderboard on the third
maybe
party.
yeah. That's quite far. That's a lot of hours put into Marvel Snap. So obviously that would have been more early on since that was before they changed how the ladder works. So, how many hours do you
Yeah.
think you play Snap though? Like on average? So you said you're a student, so you're busy. So how many hours are you actually putting into Marvel Snap these days?
So it depends on time. In these days, I have vacation, and I think I play Marvel Snap for maybe 30 minutes per day because most time I just borrow my account out. But in last winter vacation, when I stay in United States, so I don't need to use a VPN to boost my game. So I play much more, maybe about 2 hours per day. And in the last winter vacation, which is what I reached the highest rank, maybe I play about 12 hours per day, I
So
think.
so
So
half the
yeah,
day.
eat, exercising, sleep, and do all the rest time playing Marvel Snap. Maybe play by a hand and do something other on the other hand.
Yeah, I get you. I get you because it's one of those games you could just sit, you can watch TV, play the game, watch. You can only half pay attention. And now that they
Yeah,
added
exactly.
the destroy and the discard, it's even easier to half pay attention because before, if you missed what Yondu hit, oh well, you just don't know what Yondu hit. But now we can check it and it's okay. So it's even easier now
Yeah,
to watch TV and play the game and do other things while you play. So you've loaned your account out.
definitely.
Other people have helped you hit Infinite. So I would assume the first season you hit Infinite was probably the first season you started playing.
Yeah, but at that time, I'm only a new drawing player with maybe collection level lower than 500. But I played this account totally by myself. So I
Okay.
think I reached the Infinity season in Modoc season, as well
Okay.
as the next season, maybe the Cats and Dogs.
All right. So we've talked about your collection level. We've talked about the using it to get to infinity. But the biggest question everybody is going to want to know because being at 35,000 plus collection level, how much money have you spent on Marvel Snap?
So I didn't have a clear statistics level because I seldom taking down what I spend money maybe on a notebook. So it's just a guesswork that I used to find some other very powerful players spend a lot of money on this game. So according to the average we spend, I think it's over maybe $10,000 in average. So I think that I want less than them, but it's maybe we are just spend similar amounts of money. So around maybe $10,000.
That is a lot for a single game. Uh, I'm sure Ben Brode appreciates you helping to pay for his paycheck. Uh,
Yeah,
so do
exactly.
you
And
have
and I
every
also spend
variant?
about no. So I only have all 700 variant and a lot of 1200 variant. I think they are looking pretty ugly, so I rather
Okay.
do not purchase them. And also, same reason for some spotlight variant. So I have over 100 skis so far, but I didn't have all the spotlight variant because some of them are look crazy ugly.
Okay. So basically, if it looks good, you get it. If it doesn't, forget it. And you picked up all the cheap ones. So all the 700 gold ones, right?
It's not purchased with gold, so I just opened them from
Yeah, from your
the gold case.
insane collection level. Yeah, I would assume you found most of them, right?
Yep.
All right. So, do you feel that Marvel Snap makes a good tournament game?
Uh, I think that the game base is very good for people to making compositions because even everybody know what their opponents intends to play, it still have a lot of space for strategy to making works, and it's also makes a lot of tactical works as well. For example, that I can try to maybe camouflage one key card until my opponents find that I lose a lot of points. And also I can try to show them my opponents that I draw a lot of card, I snap the game, but even though that I didn't get the card. So yeah, so even though everybody knows the decks very well, it still have a lot of space for strategy. So it can making a lot of very interesting competitions. Unlike some games that if you know every step, you know the ending of the game. For example, that in nowadays society, nobody can beat an AI computer in a chess game, right?
Yeah. Right.
So in Marvel Snap, I think that a lot of action is unpredictable, and the game is very easy. So it's good for a tournament.
Yeah. So yeah, Marvel Snap also has that mix of RNG in there. Plus, they might know you what cards you're gonna play, but then there's the three lanes, you know. So it's which lane are you going to put the card into? Are you gonna play it in one? Are you gonna play it in two? Are you gonna play it in three? So yeah, there's a lot more to it. There's definitely a lot of strategy, a lot of guessing on if you're gonna guess correctly. So you talked about playing
Yeah,
Hearthstone. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
yeah. So I just want to add a little point that I usually be the victim of the RNG, so I don't want to mention this guy.
Okay, so
RNG sucks at all.
RNGesus does not like you. You need to pray to RNGesus, and he will bless you with better luck.
I know why I'm a bad luck guy. I always maybe talking bad thing about RNG. I never praise
Yeah, you
maybe
gotta
eat.
pray to RNGesus, man. So you mentioned that you played Hearthstone way back when before they shut down the Chinese servers. Um, Do you think that Marvel Snap will have the longevity of other digital card games like Hearthstone, like Magic the Gathering Arena, things like that?
I think that there are parallel games have a lot of different playing methods, so the base of the game are different. So, for example, in Hearthstone, you can get a deck very easily if you spend a little bit of money. But in Marvel Snap, you need to make a long time accumulation or spend crazy amount of money and play the RNG again to let the game give you card you want.
Yeah.
So in Hearthstone, I think that the only thing you need to master is that know all cards and playing a deck very well and know what your opponent's deck is what, so you can hit very high rank. But in Marvel Snap, I think you need a long time accumulation, or people in pool two could never beat people use pool five cards or very hard.
Yeah, definitely.
And also, I think that another very different point in Marvel Snap and Hearthstone is so Hearthstone have a larger deck and it have a more neutral resources. It's called the life point of your hero. So in Marvel Snap, the game is very easy that you can just win the game by winning the point. But in Hearthstone, you can have a very large point on your field, but maybe your hero is already dying. So the points on the field didn't work at all. So you also need to manage your hit point as well. So Hearthstone need to have more thinking about making operations. And also, I think the counter cards in Hearthstone are more effective because the counter cards on Hearthstone can either destroy your field or destroy the enemy's face. But in Marvel Snap, it's just alter some point on the field.
Yeah, Hearthstone is definitely more of a traditional card game. It is a very similar to Magic the Gathering. I played Hearthstone when I lived in China on the Chinese servers. So when I found out the Chinese servers were dead, I was like, "Oh, that makes sense." Because a couple years ago, I tried to log in and I couldn't. So it makes sense why that
Yeah,
I lost all my Hearthstone stuff because I was on the Chinese servers too.
I'm even more frustrated because of shutdown of the server. So I have to say I spent similar amount of money in Hearthstone compared to Marvel Snap.
I'll
Maybe
see.
Hearthstone is a little bit more.
I didn't spend
So
it that much on
yeah, I got
Hearthstone,
full
but it
cards
still
in Hearthstone
hurts.
as well. Yep. So I got full collection in Hearthstone as well.
All
So
right.
I'm very frustrated and looking forward the server open again.
Yeah, I'm surprised it shut down. I don't know the story behind it, but we're not going to get into that. We don't
Yeah, the
want this
car
video to get taken down by the so let's just move on to the next question. So, on a scale
definitely.
of 1 to 5, how many stars would you give Marvel Snap?
Well, so overall I will give 4 points or I will AFK right now. So for a game I give maybe lower than 3 stars, I will AFK them as soon as possible. So for Marvel Snap, I think the very annoying point is that Second Dinner just spend all of their time to earning money from players, but not develop new game modes. So
Especially
I think
now,
in
yeah.
the recent, yeah, in recent 1 year that they just publish one bundles, but not one game modes. So the even more testing game mode in maybe England or other Europe regions is just based on the normal gameplay. It's just add a ranking and point system, but not a new game mode. So I
Yep.
think that they need to develop more game modes in the future, or people will get bored in this one because
Yeah.
everybody is playing the same thing. So the game, yeah, it's pretty new for each round, but the new thing is bring by the RNG, but not other thing stimulation. So I think the game needs some new modes, for example, the arena and also maybe other gameplay methods, but it's not my duty, so I don't know what the new mode is, but I'm looking forward to them.
Yeah, because right now, yeah, they did the EU release of the leagues, and I'm in the EU. My country didn't get it, and the UK got it, but technically the UK is not in the EU, so that kind of made me a little angry because they Brexited. You know, there was Brexit. They left the EU. So why the hell did the United Kingdom get the leagues? I want free stuff. Like, give me some free stuff for just playing the game. 'Cause that's all essentially the league is. You just play, and they're like, here, have a few variants. Here's some pennies, you know? So I do agree they do need some better game modes to refresh the game before people get bored with it. Speaking on refreshing the game and things like that, so we know that you are definitely 1000% collection complete and you'll always be collection complete because you're just such a high level. But you do know how they handle the release of cards. So, how do you like the handling of that? So, how do you feel about how they release new cards with the spotlight caches and having to gamble to even pull one? So, what's your perspective on that?
So for me, it's same because I have over 100 keys so far, but it still stick on the last question that the game is not so fun because so not all the new cards are very powerful. So usually, maybe most cards in February this year, they are just normal cards. They are not so powerful to change the circumstance. So in other words, that the new cards maybe not fun at all. For example, so when the white, no, this card is very strong. So let me give another example. Well, maybe in the last month when the Red Hawk was released, so everybody bring Red Hawk because this card is insanely crazy. So it's changed the circumstance successfully, but it's not make the game more funny because some deck, maybe like Hyla deck, are strong, are too strong to beat another decks. But after maybe several weeks, the new cards are now changing the circumstance made up by the Red Hawk because Red Hawk is still very, very strong. And after this card was be nerfed, everything changed back to the state that before Red Hawk released, and now Loki become T1 again. So I think that the Tier 1 deck are just very hard to be changed until the nerf and buff season comes. So I think that what things alter the game circumstance is not the releasing of new cards, but most depends on the nerf and buff season. That, for example, in this time, Cloud just become a very, very strong card because of a very crazy buff.
Yeah, the plus
But
eight.
a lot of other, yeah, yeah, a lot of other cards that doesn't work at all. For example, which time they can maybe buff Quicksilver and Domino,
Yeah, Domino kind of is useless. It's just
and also Quicksilver.
yeah, they're kind of just useless cards. Like I don't know. Yeah, there's definitely cards that could use some buffs and some changes and some reworks. Um,
Yep. So in conclusion, I can make a metaphor that some new cards are as crazy as Claw, as crazy as Red Hawk, and some new cards are as same as maybe Domino. They are stronger than Quicksilver, but maybe not stronger so much than Domino.
yeah,
So
I
it's
think
not impacts the circumstance at all.
yeah, I think this month the cards this month aren't very great. I mean, obviously, Blink is really good, but I don't think all the cards this month are really all that well. I'm skipping Sage. I don't think Sage is worth picking up. Maybe if it was like a 2 cost, but at a 3 cost and a 0, and all the leech going around right now, the change they made to leech made that card kind of bad. Because it would just be a 3-0 in your hand if you're waiting to play it after turn 4. So I don't know. I'm skipping Sage this week. The only card I'm looking forward to this month is Sasquatch. Other than that, I think the other two are pretty so-so. They're not great.
Yeah, they are victimized by the buff of Claw and also the Leech. Some
Yeah.
of them are unrevealed, so they will be destroyed by Leech, and
Yeah.
some of them are insufficient strong. They couldn't beat a 5/8 Claw, and it have a 4 other stats on his base.
Yeah. So I mean, it's impossible for all of the new cards to be really really strong, but it's one of those in the long run. Is it going to be good cards? Because like you said, they nerf and buff things. You don't know what's going to change. There's been cards that were very not good, and then a month later they released another card and then buffed another card, and all of a sudden that card is good. And if you missed out, you missed out. Like I didn't pick up Gladiator. It was good when it came out, but it wasn't great. So I skipped Gladiator. I didn't have many keys. And then, oh, here comes Baron Zemo in the Zemo deck. And I'm like, oh, well, damn, Gladiator would have been pretty good. But I didn't have the Gladiator, so it is what it is. Like, so it's definitely hard to know which card to pick up. And it's a gamble because you know you only have a 25% chance with your key to even get the new card. So.
Exactly. So let's come back to the topic. So for me, it's normal that a new car release man because I have a lot of keys. But for the people who don't have keys, this is kind of torment.
Yes, it's not good for
So
new players. It's very very bad for the new
yeah,
players.
so I can give some very easy examples that, for example, the Gladiator. So you see it's become very strong after the Baron Zemo comes out, but you forgot it's already have a buff. So when it's released, it was 3/7. So
Ah,
at this time, it couldn't destroy Onslaught, and it will help your opponent to get some maybe 7 attack minions and make nothing. But after it's buffed to 3/8, it can destroy a lot of cards. For example, that it can destroy every guy in the tribunal, except by tribunal.
yeah, and
And
everything in
also,
Loki as
yeah,
well. It can kill every card in a Loki deck.
no, it couldn't kill himself in Loki, and the Gladiator in Loki will destroy maybe one of your cards. Yeah, it's a long story. And also another card is the Black Knight. So when the
Yeah,
Black Knight was be released, it was a very, very weak card until SD gives them a buff that it couldn't be destroyed the sword and also couldn't losing the power. So after adding this ongoing buff on the sword, this card become extremely strong.
yeah,
But when this card is released, it's very, very weak.
yeah. I did not pick it up when it was released. I got it later on using tokens. It was very sad.
Yeah. So I rather say that, yeah, I rather say that second dinners are trying to finding some maybe test mans for them to test their new card without give them rewards and also give them the wage. Because every buff or nerf on cards have no refund.
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe you
definitely.
think some card is very strong. Yeah, maybe you think some card is very strong, so you spend a lot of money to open that, and maybe after 1 month, this card is died. For example, the Blob. So it was extremely strong because it can eat all of your minions in the deck, but after 1 month, it's set a maximum of 15 points. And also the Red Hawk, it used to be extremely strong because of its base power, but it's soon be nerfed.
I mean, not just Blob. There's a few cards that were like that. They were nerfed. I mean, Red Hulk is the latest example. It's been a month and it was nerfed. Zabu was nerfed after a month, although Zabu's been nerfed a few times now. Silver Surfer was
Yeah,
nerfed after like a month and a half, something like that. So a lot of the cards they
and also
released
the
them.
Dark, yeah, and also
Oh, are you there?
so a lot of card was being nerfed multiple times. For
Yeah.
example, Galactus, Thanos, Darkhawk, and also the Spider-Man. So they even changed the card text on Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, they
So the people
completely
who spend a lot
changed
of real money
Spider-Man.
to, yeah. So I think if I am a people who spend a lot of money on this card and it's totally be changed, I will be very angry about that.
Yeah. So let's move on now. We're going to
Yeah.
talk a little about the Marvel Snap in China. So, for those who do not know, Marvel Snap is officially launching in China soon. They have the beta servers finally out. They're not calling it Marvel Snap. The name is actually longer. I think they should have just called it Manway Snap. I don't know why they gave it a different name, but
Uh,
whatever.
I
so,
think the reason is because that it's hard to translate snap into a Chinese word.
see, that's why I think
For
they
example,
shouldn't have
that is,
translated it. I think they should have just left it as snap because it's the Thanos snap. Like people get it, right? I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too much. Or maybe I
yeah.
think too highly of the people. Maybe they won't get it. All right, so with all that in mind, though, so the official server is coming. The game is probably going to explode just a little bit. But the current scene, let's talk about the current scene of Snap in China. So, how large would you say the Marvel Snap scene is in China right now? Like, how many players are there currently playing on the other servers?
So according to second dinner policy, I think the Chinese player who register their account in China mainland and also Taiwan and Hong Kong, so they are separate into the Asian server and play with Korean people, Japanese people, and also the Southeast Asia people.
Yeah.
So I think the most Chinese players are still staying this server. And some of the Chinese players, for example, me, registered the account in different countries. So for example, I stay in United States servers and starting the COVID too. So I think it depends on the size of the Asian server player amount. I think there are a lot of Chinese people playing Marvel Snap because of the large base number amount of people of China, but I think it's really a small ratio amount to the population in China. But yeah, it's still a very large amount of people who play in game because we have a lot of people. So far for the Chinese playing community, I think it's most focusing on some people who making the daily report and making live streaming. So they organize their fan group on some Chinese chatting platforms like WeChat, QQ, and some other channels. So usually the players just discussing what they discover, what they wanted to share, and what their question on the platforms, and also focus their streamers streaming every day. It's like that. It's not like Discord that everybody can find the updated news on those WeChat groups, but somebody will find those things on Discord or the Origin website and put a screenshot into the group. So that's the main way we get the information from Second Dinner.
Yeah. So people who don't have access, and then the people who do, they're like, "Here you go, guys. Share, share, share. This is what's going on." And I think most of those group chats are a few hundred people as well. I think most of them are over 200 people. So, and there's quite a few
Yeah,
of
it's
them.
around 200.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not in all of
it's
them,
due
but
to the
I've seen
limitation.
that there's a few.
Yeah, so it's due to the limitation of WeChat because
Ah,
once a group chat have over 200 people, people couldn't join the group automatically by scanning the QR code. It should be invited by somebody in the group manually. So
gotcha.
I think it's some policy try to avoid maybe too much people causing some bad action easily that maybe
Yeah, no
I
gathering
can tell a
together.
lie and everybody will trust me. Yeah.
All right. So, would you say that you are a well-known player in China?
I don't think so, but I think I'm not so well known, but my account is well known because a lot of live streamer play my account. So maybe they think that it's a streamer's account, but yeah, they only recognize the ID, but they don't know the IDs belong to me.
Well, now they do. All right.
All
So,
right, thank you.
with the release of the Chinese servers and you being a student in America, Will you be opening a Chinese server account, or are you just going to stick with the American one? And do you think most people are just going to stick with whatever their old account is because they don't want to start over?
Well, it depends on the opportunity cost and sync cost. So me, the sync cost is too high. So
Yeah.
it's about over $10,000. So I think I just will stick on this one. And maybe some people will come back to the Chinese server, especially the crazy fan of the live streamer, because I think all the live streamer will come to the Chinese platform because they have some cooperation statement with NetEase, the company who run Marvel Snap in China.
Yeah.
So I think the company members will ask them to play their servers. So some fans of those live streamers will trying to play in Chinese server as well in order to maybe find their streamers and maybe have a friendly battle with them on the ranking battle.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think a
So
lot
I
of those
think
streamers will
it's
switch
very
over.
common
Yeah.
in China. Yep. So for example, that once the Hearthstone Chinese server was be shut down, so a lot of Chinese streamers just come to the foreign website server to play in Hearthstone, and their fans also join the server and maybe making names of their live streamer's name and play with them. For example, that there is a very famous Hearthstone player in China called Dai Jiawei. So in English, its abbreviation is DJW. So a lot of players just join the server and making the name DJW and other things to show their support for the live streamer. So it's very common in China. Card game players.
Yeah. All right. So some will join, some will stay. I think, like you said, it's the ultimate, the cost of it. How much money would they lose if they switched off of it, or if
Yeah,
they just started Marvel Snap, they might as well start over on the Chinese server where it's going to be, sourced out. And I think it's going to have Chinese voices and all that on it, which the main game does not have unless you play the traditional Chinese version. Then it adds the Chinese voices, which I'm not sure why it does that, to be honest. I don't know why they. Because the traditional Chinese, I think it's still Mandarin. I don't think it's Cantonese. So not sure why they didn't give the simplified Chinese version of the game voices, but it is what it is on that. I don't know. That was second dinner's
yeah. It's
choice.
maybe add in the future. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's maybe add in the future.
Well, I think I've
And
seen a thing
also, I think
saying
there's
that it'll
another.
have it. So
Mhm. Yeah, I think there's another chance that some players return to the Chinese server. Is that because of the gap between the Chinese server and the international server, maybe the Marvel Snap in China have an early version. So maybe some cards are still in the early version. For example, that Flick 3 Galactus can just destroy the location without winning the location. So maybe some players, maybe they are
oh,
crazy Galactus fan and they will come and play this earlier version because they think this is the most fun version they ever play on this game.
see, I did
Maybe you
not
can
know that.
find early Zabu. Yeah. So I can give an example that do you know Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links?
Yes, I played it very, very briefly
So
before I got tired of it.
so I don't know the exact translation in English, but there's a deck called Electro Dragon or Electronic Dragon. It's played by the Caesar. It's somebody called Caesar. So this deck was extremely strong because it have a very strong power, but soon it was be nerfed in the international server. That this skill would be redo like Spider-Man in Marvel Snap. And after NetEast opened the Chinese server, they have an unnerved skill for this character. So a lot of people come back to China server and playing the unnerved version of the electronic dragon. So I think it's like
So
it's
you
an
you mean like
example that
Genzalong?
yeah, 电子龙.
Oh, so Cyber Dragon, Cyber Dragon.
Oh, Cyber Dragon. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just translate cyber into electronic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, no worries, no worries. I do play Yu-Gi-Oh,
Yeah.
so I know a fair bit of the card names. So
Yeah. At that time, maybe it's 4 years before I playing games mainly use Mandarin, so I don't know its English translation.
yeah, no worries, no worries. All right, so this is a question you said you maybe were going to answer, maybe not answer. If you don't want to answer, you don't have to. So, what are the origins of your name?
You mean Bao Bao?
Yes.
So some people are maybe having some further thing, but I have to say that it's just my Hearthstone ID. And my Hearthstone ID was being made up during my junior high school time, since I really like to eat this traditional Chinese food. So I made this ID.
Okay, so you like steam buns, so your name was Steam Buns, and it just stuck ever since. Or do you like Jimbo?
Yeah, so uh maybe I like the Steam one more.
Okay.
And my initial idea was Steam Dump wanted to have a cat. So at that time, I wanted to keep a cat as well as I eat those delicious foods.
Okay.
So this is my initial idea. Just is 包包三养只猫.
Okay. Okay. Cute, cute, cute. Going back to your childhood a bit. All right. So we've talked about some of the games you've played, but have you played any of the excuse me, have you played any of these other games competitively before? So have you tried to like enter tournaments and things like that for Hearthstone, Duel Links, whatever you were playing?
So I try to play in Hearthstone Wild in very high rank, but also I didn't play by only myself. A lot of other players also play my account because of the high collection. And also I played the Marvel Snap competition tournament organized by Chinese people and Taiwan people that they organize competition and organize a team up. So I used to play in their season one, but now it's season two, and I just exit the tournament because of the final exam is coming.
Yeah.
So for the game with competition, I played a lot on PC, but for card game, it's very limited. So I used to play a game called Cards. So it's a World War II style card game, and I reached rank one at a time. So I think it's maybe also a very high ranking for competition game. And for the other game, it's not cards. I have to say that I play a lot of games. So I play Dark Souls PvP, Elden Ring PvP, CSGO, and a lot of online games. They are all related to competition, but
Did you play
it's not
Dota?
cards. No, I didn't play Dota or LOL.
Cool, cool, cool. When I first moved to China, I was just very, very surprised at how popular Dota was. But this was in
Yep.
2012, so this was 12 years ago. So it's been a long time. I could not believe how popular Dota was there. Everywhere I went, people were always asking me if I played Dota. And no, I don't play those kind of games. I don't play MOBA games. I don't find them fun. But I was just so shocked at how popular the game was. So I just figured I'd ask if you
Yeah, I
played
think
it.
at that time, no. So I think at that time, I just steal my father's computer and play in Red Alert.
Yeah, I was about to say. I think in 2012 you were not that old.
Yeah, so I just steal my father's computer and play in Red Alert because it's my father's favorite game.
All right. So
I think
now,
it's Red Alert 2. Yeah.
yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. I have a friend in Croatia that loves the Red Alert games as well. He says he plays them every few years and just goes through and beats them. Very popular older series for sure. So our final question of the day, the most important question, the one that you have to think so hard on or not, because when I asked a young bully or young seeker, he instantly knew the answer. Who is your favorite Marvel character?
Favorite Marvel character? So I have to say that I am a fan of Venbro, so I haven't maybe touched the Marvel movies since I joined the game. So when I joined the game, I have to say, what the fuck is this character? What is Misty Knight? I haven't saw this guy on the any movie. So why this guy come to my head? And I maybe know Quicksilver, I know Star-Lord, but who is Spider Woman? Who is Diva Dinosaur? Why the dinosaur is playing with the with a black girl called Moon Girl. So this is what I've was my first impression uh, on the Marvel Snap characters.
Okay.
Well, so if you ask me to pick one of my favorite character, so I could only say that according to very, very limited movie I have watched, I think it's supposed to be Spider-Man.
Okay. So how about instead of favorite
Uh,
character, what's your favorite card in the game then?
My favorite card, oh,
Yeah.
easy, Cerebro.
Cerebro. Okay. Okay. So your favorite
Oh,
characters.
Cere
Yeah, Cerebro. Yeah. So your favorite character slash card is a supercomputer.
I don't know. I just think the Cerebro can bring a lot of possible for making some crazy deck.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
still has a very strong power to making you become competitive in the gaming, but you can bring a lot of strange card what you like to do. And thank you for you teaching me how to read this word correctly.
No
So actually,
worries.
I call this Cerebro for a while.
Yeah, no worries, man. So yeah, Cerebro, it's the Professor X, right?
Yeah, I see this one is a helmet of Professor
Yeah, it's
X
it's the
in some
helmet. It's
variant.
it's a computer that he puts on and it allows him to see all of the mutants all over the world. So it's how he finds new mutants to like invite them to his school and to make sure they're okay and stuff like that. So that's what Cerebro
All right.
actually is. Yeah, that's why it gives. I think that's why it's like a plus power. It links to all your other cards and gives them pluses because in the comic books it links to all the mutants and connects them all together through like the mutant gene or whatever, and it allows Professor X to just see all of them all over the world. It's just a giant computer, and he puts the little helmet on.
Well, that's pretty cool. And I was be even more surprised that the Enchantress can destroy this computer.
Yeah, I guess thinking of it like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and the roach is still the computer to her location.
Yeah. Thinking about it in the terms of the ongoing effects. Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
So,
this is a game index. You couldn't explain this, or you couldn't explain why Shang-Chi can kill Thanos in a second.
hey, man, it's them rings, man. His rings are just so powerful. This the seven rings or
Oh
whatever
my
they are,
God.
right? All right. So,
All
thank you
right,
so
mother.
much, Bao Bao, for coming today and doing this interview. So, we've asked all of our questions.
My
Now
pleasure.
is your time. What would you like to tell the people? You can say whatever you want. You can give shout outs to any players, whatever you want to say.
What I want to say. All right, so I didn't prepare for this question. Well, to have a speaking with Dave Walker Cars fans, I have to say, subscribe Dave Walker Cars if you
A
haven't yet. And thank you.